High volume oxygen HV30 and HV60 setup instructions. Unpack all the items from the boxes or crates. You should have the HV system, oxygen machines, one relay box, one regulator, 2 medical grade power cords, 1 coaxial cable, oxygen lines, HV instructions manual. Read the HV system manual carefully before setting up your system. Attach one end of the coaxial cable onto the back of the HV system by screwing it onto the threaded coaxial connector in the center of the rear of the head unit. Plug one of the medical grade power cords into the power cord receptacle in the back of the head unit. Place the relay box on a stand next to the oxygen machines. Attach the other end of the coaxial cable to the relay box by screwing it onto either threaded coaxial connector. Don't place the relay box on the oxygen machines or on the HV system, as over time the vibration could cause it to fall. There are 3 power cord outlets on the front of the relay box. Depending on your number of oxygen machines, you may be using either 2 or 3 of these outlets. Plug the oxygen machine power cords into the outlets on the front of the relay box. Plug the remaining medical grade power cord into the power cord receptacle on the lower left-hand corner of the relay box. Carefully hand tighten the oxygen connectors onto the oxygen outlet on each of the oxygen machines. Be sure to gently screw them on straight and avoid stripping the plastic connectors. Hand tighten the remaining end of the oxygen connector onto the oxygen inlet fitting on the rear of the HV system. Attach an oxygen regulator to the oxygen regulator fitting. Tighten with a crescent wrench. If your system doesn't come with a regulator, you may need to supply one. Plug the HV system into a dedicated 15 or 20 amp circuit. Plug the relay box into a separate dedicated 15 or 20 amp circuit. On the main unit, turn the switch above the power cord to the on position. There will be a few seconds delay while the digital controller calibrates and takes the pressure readings. Immediately turn all the oxygen machines to on and adjust the flow valves to slightly below the highest liter per minute setting. Adjusting to slightly below the maximum setting will result in higher oxygen purity. From here on, do not change the settings or turn the oxygen machines off. They will be automatically controlled by the HV system. 2 lights, SP1 and SP2, will light up in green. The screen on the digital controller will indicate the HV tank pressure. Do not attempt to adjust the controls on the digital controller. They are pre-programmed and locked by the manufacturer. The system will turn off when tank pressure reaches 95 psi. During initial setup, the oxygen being created will be mixed with atmosphere in the tank. Open the regulator and safely vent off the oxygen to the outside or to a large, well-ventilated room for a minimum of 30 minutes. After 30 minutes, close the regulator and allow the tank to fill. The oxygen regulator is now your source for oxygen. Attach your central lines or equipment to the regulator. Set the regulator to 50 psi. When the pressure reaches 95 psi, the oxygen machines will shut off. The digital controller will remain on and will continue to read tank pressure. As the oxygen is being used and the pressure goes down from 50 psi, the oxygen machines will automatically turn on. They will remain on until the tank is repressurized to 95 psi. Once the system is set up and running, do a bubble test to make sure there are no leaks. Leaks in the lines will cause lower oxygen purity. Also, bubble test the tank fittings to make sure nothing came loose during shipping. It is not necessary to turn off the HV system even when the system is not in use. It is okay to leave it on. However, it is more economical to turn off the regulator when oxygen is not required. If you have further questions about setting up the HV system, contact High Volume Oxygen at 402-990-6144.